What's up, y'all? It's Bluth Banana 97, and today I wanted to talk about the great divide between men and women. I see so many videos in the YouTube algorithm of men blaming women and women blaming men. And I just want to say, where's the responsibility and accountability in all this, right? Like, for example, right, I love to see, men be like, we should hold women accountable, but then they don't hold themselves accountable. And I also see women who are like, men need to respect me, but then they don't respect men. So, I think it all starts with ourselves, right? Men and women are equal, there's no doubt about that. But the problem is we don't treat each other as equals, right? We all feel the need to elevate ourselves above others as if that makes things better. But honestly, that's not going to make things better, right? We should treat each other as equals, right? So this is what I'm going to say is both equal criticism of men and women and myself, right? We got to be responsible and accountable for ourselves. We cannot control others. For example, right, the respect issue, right? This goes for men and women. I don't think you should ever expect respect. And here's why I say that, right? You should give respect to others without expectation of return, and you should have self-respect, but you shouldn't expect respect from others. So there's a difference between expecting respect from others and self-respect, right? So expecting respect from others is I expect you to treat me well, even if I haven't earned it. Whereas self-respect is more, I respect myself enough to know that some people aren't going to respect me, and that's their issue, right? So there's a difference, right? One of them is, oh no, I can't accept the fact that people don't respect me. And the other is, I respect myself, so if other people don't respect me, that's fine. So which one do you think is healthier? Obviously, self-respect is healthier than expecting respect from others. And honestly, the best way to get respect from others is first showing respect to others without expectation of return. And it's the same for relationships, right? The best way to feel loved is actually to give love to others without expectation of return. I promise you, if you give love to everyone, you will never feel alone. Or maybe not never, but you won't be lonely, right? In general, right? Because when you give love to others, people just naturally gravitate towards you and give love back, right? But again, you can't expect it back. Some of the most loving people still have haters, right? So you can't just expect everyone to love you. In fact, what you can focus on and only what you can control is whether or not you give love to others. And I see this in online, everyone's complaining about how poorly they're treated. And the issue is you may be treated poorly, but are you treating others poorly? You can't use being treated poorly as an excuse to treat others poorly. So I think every single person, men and women, need to take responsibility. Now, I want to talk about gender roles, right? A lot of people say gender roles are good, and a lot of people say gender roles are bad. I think they're neutral. What I mean by that is it's not really a good or bad thing. It's how you behave within or without those gender roles that determine whether or not you're, that determine whether or not it's good or bad. So the gender roles themselves are neutral. They're not bad or good. It's how you behave within and without them that determines whether or not they're good or bad, right? For example, let's take the gender role that, okay, a man has to be a provider. Okay. So let's say I think that's neutral. That's not good or bad, right? Some people would say, well, if a man has to be the provider, then you're saying women should not work? Or some people say, oh, if the man has to be the provider, then all the burden is on the man. Well, that's the thing, right? it depends on how you act within that gender role or without it, right? You can use that gender role and be like, if you're a man, you can be like, yeah, I'll provide for my family, nothing wrong with that. I take on that responsibility. Or you could be without the gender role and say, hey, I'm going to find a partner who also works. I'm not going to be the only provider. It's going to be a fair and even relationship. It all comes down to personal preference and how you behave, right? Some people use the gender role as an excuse to be lazy or not do, their side of the relationship. And that's what's really causing the rift between men and women. It's not gender roles. It's not feminism or toxic masculinity. No, it's not politics. It's ourselves. We are all the problem. We need to stop complaining about other people or the other side. First of all, men and women should not be opponents, right? We should be cooperating. But like when we view them as like, oh, the other side, and we complain about their behavior, have we ever thought about our behavior? Because we can't control other people's behaviors. Yes, other people may have bad behavior, but we can't control that. We can't fix that. It's up to them to fix their own behavior. And it's up to us to fix our behavior. The only thing we can focus on, the only thing we can control is our behavior. So we shouldn't be complaining about other people's behaviors. We need to accept that some people will have bad behavior, and we can't control that. The only thing we can control is making sure we're at our best behavior. So, and we have the right attitudes, right? Those are the things we can control. So ultimately, the problem with the great gender divide isn't the other side. No. The problem with the great gender divide is ourselves. It's on each and every one of us to do what's right. Now people may have different definitions of what's right. But we got to live by our values, and we can't control other people's values, and we got to accept that other people will have different values. So that's the truth. Like, even if you think your values are the only values that people should be living by, unfortunately, you can't control the fact that other people may not agree. Even if you're right, even if you're 100% right, you still can't force someone to see that you're right, right? So that's what I'm saying, right? Like, even this opinion that I'm giving on YouTube, right? I have no control whether or not you agree with me or not. The only thing I can give is my opinion, and if it's the wrong opinion, maybe I adapt it. If it's the right opinion, I stick by it, right? Or maybe if it just needs some nuance, then I develop some nuance to the opinion. But again, I can only focus on my opinion and my beliefs and my behaviors. I can't control other people's beliefs, behaviors, opinions, whatever. So at the end of the day, the great divide between men and women isn't caused by news propaganda or like incorrect beliefs or anything like that. No, it's caused by ourselves. Each and every one of us need to do better. All right, take care, guys. Bye.